My beautiful, beautiful Aqua gang. What it do, you guys? It's your girl, Empress 777 here today with a general message for my beautiful Aquarian soul family. My Aqua gang, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. These messages are general, guys, okay? Holy Angels and Spirit guys, please come through. Give us exactly what we need to know for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Don't force shit to fit, y'all, okay? How are y'all doing? I hope you're doing super fantastic. I most certainly am. This pre-shuffle definitely has me a little bit shooketh. I can't front, okay? Try to hold it together. We have a lot to unpack here. But before we dive into that, please take a moment and click the like button as well as the subscribe button. Okay, we would love to have you come on in the room. Okay, those of you who are new, what's up? Nice to meet ya. Okay, we get down with the aquas over here. All right, we're one big family and we would love to have you. So click that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. Everybody getting them comments down below. I love to see you guys conversing, talking back and forth. It really warms my heart. Shoot me a little hey girl, hey. I love to see those as well. Okay, so where do I even begin? Oh, it's like a whirlwind. This energy is coming in like a wrecking ball, guys, okay? I definitely feel energetically depleted for sure. I don't feel like that is a coincidence, and I don't feel like that's by mistake. Now, here's the thing. They are leading this reading with both parties being held accountable, okay? So they're going to list out some things in reference to this person as well as you. Be sure not to take it too personally, okay? Take it with a grain of salt and also take it as the initiator of you being able to see things a little bit more clearly since this break. Now, I'm saying break because for some of you, there might be a chance to reconcile. For others of you, not so much, okay? We are here as a collective, so everybody's ending is not going to look or be the same. And it's going to be important for you to stay fluid within my readings and recognize that as well, right? Everybody is meant to come here to gain whatever it is that is here for you, okay, whatever you resonate with, but then you still move accordingly and free will is still at play, right? So you still get to make the decision that is best for you, and these readings are to inform you upon making those decisions, okay? Now, here's one thing that I do notice. A lot of the cards here are a signifier of closed eyes, blindfolds, really not seeing things clearly, optical illusions, possibly self-inflicted delusion at some point. The very first card out was the Two of Swords. Okay, I definitely have you at the very center of the reading, which is the Star card. So there's a healing process that's going on. Healing, there, I'm hearing the phrase, healing is not pretty all the time. Okay, the sun will come out on the other side. The rainbow will come after the rain. There will be victory after the storm. These are all the things that I'm hearing because I do feel like it is challenging, especially for those of you who have tried to leave this connection multiple times. This does appear to be someone who is still heavily attached to you, your energy. Even if they didn't treat you the best, they still have this comfortability, this comfort level. You could be the person that they always come back to. You could be the person that they have been known to come back to, right? Even after they're the ones who leave, or if they are the ones who force your hand to leave, they simply have always been able to come back. But I feel like they're hitting a brick wall with the Seven of Wands here. There's a boundary, a heavy boundary that's being placed up now. And it is going to lead to this breaking of a cycle, okay? You are going to be the beginning of the breaking of this cycle. I am hearing that in terms of you, right? Were you fairly treated in this relationship? No. Were you fairly treated in relationships prior? No. I feel like this person may have had a hold on you just based on the soul tie in and of itself. Okay, the spiritual connection. There's something that definitely led you to stay with this person, even though there were a great deal of injustices that had been done. There is a level of addictiveness that I feel here. So the two of you could have been addicted to one another, even though It did not feel good all the time. Now, somebody got the better end of the deal, okay, whether that's you or them. And cross watchers, you're also welcome here. So just place yourself where you belong in the storyline. Whomever got the better end of the deal, the tables are now flipping. Okay, this is a transition period, and it is moving into more karmic territory. Okay, karma can be good and bad. It just depends on what seed you planted, right? Your harvest will it will go according to, and it will breed a harvest of whatever it is that you planted. Whatever energy you put out there is what you so shall reap. Now, there is a deep emphasis that they're placing on this person feeling as though they have some kind of hold on you, okay? Or they have in the past, which is why we have them showing up here in the first place, okay? With the Seven of Wands next to this feel like home card, that for me, it feels as though this person is still viewing you as maybe your more naive or green self. You may have known this person for many of years. Maybe the two of you have known each other since you were young. This could be your high school sweetheart for some of you, but not necessarily. For a majority of you, this Two of Swords, meaning your indecisiveness, your inability to stay away, because I do feel like you walked away quite a few times, seeking justice, seeking some recourse for yourself, right? Seeking some form of healing, peace. I feel like this young love card suggests that maybe your views on love are outdated, or they were. They were, is what they're saying. This is what would have kept you from hearing whatever was being spoken to you secretly, okay? This could be downloads showing up in your dreams. This could be synchronicities, right? Signs. Maybe you asked for a blatant sign to show you if this love was real, if this is something that you should put your effort towards, if this person's behavior was purposeful, if they needed to remain in your life, all of the questions. I do believe that they were giving the answers, but because of some kind of ideal that you had, some kind of theory, this could be something that you were taught young, about what love looks like, what it's supposed to feel like, how it's supposed to go, right? Maybe you have been a witness to many of toxic relationships with the Devil card here, right? This could be your own parents, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins. You haven't really had a good example of what love is, what it should look like, what it should feel like. And maybe you out of your own mouth have said what you want, and the things that you have said are healthy. However, the things that you on a subconscious level tolerated or dealt with were a direct correlation to what your life experience, your young childhood, your young adulthood, what you were seeing, okay? It would have blindfolded you to what actually was going on. So, do I feel like you were do I feel as though the challenges that you were facing or the toxicity that you were facing was as bad as what you would have experienced as a young person? No, because I'm hearing very adamantly, I would never go through that. I would never tolerate that shit. I would never do that shit. No, it's not the same packaging, but it's definitely giving the same ingredients. Okay. It might not be as bad, but it's still pretty bad here, guys, okay? I was shuffling another deck. They didn't have me pull that card, but the only word on the card was sadness. And this reading is making me a little bit sad, okay? I feel as though that example of relationships, or what works in a relationship, what happens when you are in love, what happens when you're now saying that you love somebody, or that you're now exclusive with, what is tolerable, what are the roles that each person plays. I feel like those ideals, those theories that you would have gotten from your childhood and they would have gotten from their childhood, it could be mirrored, guys. Okay, so they're leading me to the bottom of this deck, right? I saw this earlier. Yeah, it could be mirrored. There's definitely some kind of mirrored experience that would have made it okay for the two of you to accept one another. It would have made it okay for the person who was giving the short end of the stick to do that, because that's what they experienced. That's what they saw as being okay. That's what they saw as being acceptable. And if somebody loves you, they should accept that. They should accept whatever. They should accept it however it comes. And vice versa, right? It's a mirror. So the person who was accepting less, then that's what they would have experienced. That's what they would have saw. They would have saw, you know, family members who were always, you know, doing for others and being there for others and stepping up and not worrying about themselves, right? Like not really being taken care of, but taking care of others. It would have given the example that you should just be grateful for what you get, right? Like you shouldn't be asking for too much. I'm the nice guy. I'm the nice girl. I don't need too much. I don't need too much on that. I don't need to do too much. I don't do, you know, I'm simple and all of this other stuff, right? That breeds the energy of someone who will just take. Okay, it's a recipe for disaster. It was always going to happen that way. But now we're transitioning into a different time and a different place. Yeah. So this is a lot deeper, guys. Okay. And it's quite sad because the both of you are being led to break cycles that have been going on for generations. Okay. Habitual behavior. So you may have found yourself being in relationships where you're always confused. Your intuition is there, but then you still wait to see if your intuition was right, because we have the High Priestess as well as the 3 Wands, right? Yeah, so there's this energy of being given the answer, but still wanting to wait to see if maybe there's another answer, right? That's sort of like, you know, pulling out the tarot deck, asking the tarot cards a question, they give you an answer, and then being like, nah, I'm gonna pull another card. No. The answer was what they said it was initially. You don't pull another card. Like, you're either going to accept it or you aren't. And that would be a signifier of all of these cards where the eyes are closed. Closed eyes here. Closed eyes here. Closed eyes here. They're closed there. Blindfolded. Closed. Blindfolded. Back turned, closed. Now in the Star card, the eyes are open, but it's a process, right? When you've been willingly blindfolding yourself or turning a blind eye to certain things, or not really being able to see it, or possibly not wanting to believe it, right? Which brings us to our next set of cards, which is at the bottom of the deck. We have the 7 of Swords as well as Thief, right? 7 of Swords is definitely a signifier of ill intention. I do feel like there is a need to take a part of the accountability on your end. Does that mean that you need to take this person back? No, but there is this need to accept the fact that this is what you accepted. Okay, I'm going to say that as soft as possible, because that is a tough pill to swallow. Energy, before we get to this, they got me all over the place now, guys. I'm a little bit frazzled and razzled. The energy vampire being right next to the 8 of Swords makes a lot of sense, right? Because there were a lot of points of depletion. And I'm even hearing, like I said, for a majority of you, for some of you, you just walked away from this shit. You know what I'm saying? It may have felt bad, or maybe you felt guilty, or maybe it was just like too much sadness to bear. The healing process got very ugly, so you ended up allowing them back. Because again, I told you that this is somebody who always comes back. Why would they leave is what I'm hearing. Why would they be the ones to walk away if they were getting the sweeter end of the deal? Why would they be the ones to leave? That would be stupid. Of course, they're not going to leave. You were always the one to lead this transition into something else, to break this cycle. The toxic traits in which this person was taught was always to put them in the upper hand. Okay, it was always to place them in a position of having the upper hand, getting more, so that, yeah, if it does come to a demise, if things do end, you still came out with more. They don't want you to focus too much on that, especially if you're the one who came out with the short end of the stick, because there's a transitional period going on now, a changing of the guard, if you will. So things are changing very rapidly, or they will be. 8 of Swords is willingly tying yourself up, because you are free here on the other side. Okay. If you'll notice, this figure is kind of looking out into space, kind of spaced out in a daze. Does appear to not be moving, but still being able to think straight at some points in time, right? It's a very confusing and murky energy. So I can understand where it would take a little bit of time to try to decipher what is happening, what is going on, why does this keep happening, right? Why can't we have more than one good day, more than one good week, more than one good month? Why is this always continuously happening? I do feel like a continuum of on and off, on and off, on and off. So there's a bit of accountability. That is, let me just take a deep breath, y'all. Okay. You cannot help how people treat you, right? You can't force people to do anything. You can't control people. You can't make nobody. You can't break nobody. Can't force nobody. Can't coerce nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's not even your type of time. But you do have one portion that is controllable, and that's your part, right? So nobody can make you stay. Nobody can make you take them back. Nobody can make you reconcile. Nobody can make you stay around, which is why the Eight of Swords is willingly tying yourself to something. Okay. Now, while that did almost take my breath away, because, you know, I love y'all, and I don't want to ever beat up on you guys. You know, we're all human. We're having this human experience, and we have all at one point in our lives, okay, at least been in a situation like this. Okay. It's not as easy as it appears to just be pulling these cards when it's happening in real life. Hello, somebody. So no, don't beat yourself up, but there is a need to recognize what has happened. Okay. Step outside of the situation, step outside of yourself. View it from the perspective of if it was your friend, if this was your loved one, right? If this was your child, if this was you can come up with the person who in your mind, right? You would hate to see them accepting this, right? And that is what's going to give you the perspective that you need to untie yourself from this and actually heal. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not. But it will be rewarding, okay? Now, in terms of this person, they are also going through a transition, right? Where they are now in a position to where things are being taken from them. We do not exalt, relish in, or praise the idea of somebody going through turmoil or going through a painful time, right? So that's not the case, but they are wanting to point that out. This is what their position looks like from the changing of the guard, is what they keep saying. So I feel like this person has had a position of power for quite some time. And in terms of power, I mean, power over people's emotions, okay? Power to keep a hold energetically on people. The power to attract what it is that they possibly and potentially are not deserving of. Now, you might be looking at this person as if they did, you know, steal a lot of your time, your energy, your resources, your love. And you would be correct in thinking so. You would be right. Nobody's here to tell you that you are wrong. You are right. On the other side, okay, on the flip side of that coin is needing to recognize where you've gotten comfortable. Okay, the things that are happening repeatedly, the things that have been occurring repeatedly, needs to now be looked at in a different form. Okay, it needs to now be, you need to now tell yourself the truth about what has happened, what has occurred, so that you can break the cycle. The cycle of toxic relationships in your lineage. You don't have to settle. It's better to be single and of sound mind and clarity and healing and with a full cup than to accept anything and be depleted and be on the other side of that, right? Where your intuition is not working, where it seems that your brain might not be working, right? You get fogged mind. You're chaotic internally, not really being able to be at peace. The boundaries may be non-existent, all for the sake of holding on to someone or being able to have that person is what's needing to change. Now, with this individual, they are being led to go into some very uncomfortable times is what I'm hearing, okay? A lot of the things that they have grown to become accustomed to with this feels like home card, that's about comfortability. That's about things kind of going your way, kind of being able to coast, right? Not really having to worry about what's going to happen next or what could happen next or how you're going to climb that motherfucking mountain, because there aren't any mountains in this person's life thus far. They have been taught away from very young is what I'm hearing, guys. Okay. From very young, even if you're not their high school sweetheart, then they're going all the way back to that, right? Like the girls or the guys that they will pull in high school. This person was taught how to be a master manipulator, how to get people to be waiting on you to wait. I'm hearing, so the Three of Wands is like waiting, but I'm hearing like waiting, like a server, like serving. That's what I heard. Like waiter, a waitress or a waiter. They have been taught how to get people to wait on them, whether that's physically waiting or like standing still. Okay. Holding themselves captive, and energetically, that is, tying themselves to them willingly. They've been able to do that multiple times. Very lucky. This has been a very lucky cycle, a very lucky run, which is why this is going to come as quite a surprise that it's coming to an end for this person. They actually won't be able to believe it. They might be lying to themselves at some point in time that it's over. The changing of the guard, like that point of position, that point of power that you once had, it's no longer going to work, and it's outdated, you see. Okay, so now they're putting emphasis on the age of Aquarius with the star card here. There's a lot of healing that will be going on across the board. In terms of this person, this part of them has been very toxic. It is like a cesspool. It has been very beneficial in the way that they have been able to get people to wait on them is what I'm hearing. So that could be all areas of their life. With the Lovers in the reverse, I feel like they're going through major breakups, like major upheavals, major endings. Lots of challenges in terms of the things that they love. Now, they are putting you in the position as one of the things that they love, but this person has not acquired the things that they quote unquote loved in a very moral way. They're not in moral standing. They have stolen these things. You happen to be one of the things on that list. But I feel like they have stolen many of things. I'm hearing they have stolen identities. What the fuck does that mean? What do you mean? Okay. If this person has been like committing fraud, that shit is going to catch up to them. Because I just heard like committing, I heard stealing identities, identity theft. But for some of you, if it's not directly them taking like people's credit card numbers and, you know, running up the bag and shit like that, committing fraud in that aspect, then it's in a personality way, like taking somebody's swag or taking someone's talent, taking someone's intellectual property. That's like people's thoughts, people's plans, people's ideas, people's business models, shit like that. They siphon that energy from people. They steal that. They steal it. They become them. So if you were to go to work with this person, you would possibly be like, who the fuck are you? Because I feel like at work, whoever was successful, whoever was, you know, getting the promotions or getting the most accolades, the most praise, they turned into that person. They kind of took their personality, took their way, you know, studied them and then became them. That is crazy work. With the courthouse here, this is about justice being served, and it's happening now. So if you have not already gone through your challenges, okay, in terms of healing from this, then prepare yourself, okay? All is not lost. Try to stay hydrated, meditated, use your intuition, right? As you're being guided through this, do not be too hard on yourself, but it's kind of an uphill battle. Once you get over that hump, I feel like things are going to look so much more clearer and sweeter, and you will never experience this again. This is the end of a cycle. You are breaking cycles. I'm hearing breaking a curse. Yeah, you may have never really experienced someone putting firm boundaries down. Maybe you saw them say it, but they didn't really stand on that. You know, they did not reinforce the boundaries. Like if you tell somebody, okay, if you do that again, it's going to be trouble for you, and then they do it again, then where is the trouble? You know what I'm saying? You said it, you're saying it sounds good. I feel like you are transitioning into someone who is going to be extremely strong, no nonsense. Okay, no nonsense in terms of that toxic shit. The Seven of Wands next to this transition card is, like I said, about breaking a cycle. I feel like for some of you, it's not only this person who's getting the axe. Your boundaries might be placed up against lovers, friends, family members, anybody who tries to cross this, anybody who tries to uproot this, anyone who tries to disturb this peace will in fact be exiled, is what I'm hearing. What the? Wait. Yeah, I heard exiled. Okay. So, with the star card at the center of the reading, okay, I feel like you must brace yourself for what you already know is coming. You know how this person does. You know how they are. Now, I feel like the way that they view you is also outdated, which is why it would be okay for them to show up in our reading today, and which is why it would be okay for them to seem as though they're moving back towards you. Again, you must also recognize that there's a sense of denial here in this person with the Seven of Swords about the transition that is occurring, what's currently going on. Now, for the wheel to be showing up here, I do feel like there could be a flipping of the energies, okay? In terms of this person now feeling slightly at loss, right? It was very comfortable. They felt like they can almost, with their eyes closed. Okay, okay, no pun intended. Got it. They're like, all these closed eyes on this board. Okay, fine. With their eyes closed, they can almost guess what you're going to do next. They can guess what you're going to decide. They can guess how this is going to go with their eyes closed. So this person is viewing you as someone who has been blindly, going along with them. Now, does that have to mean that they're right? No, but some of the cards do suggest that you weren't getting the full picture. You weren't getting the whole picture. With the Devil card here, there is some form of an attachment, okay, an unhealthy attachment that you would have had to this person, and that is why. But in their mind, right, you know who they think they are, okay? They absolutely have been able to accomplish what they were taught, how they were taught to do it. And I do see this person making their way back towards you, okay? I feel like someone is also giving them very poor advice. This could be the person who taught them this sort of behavior, how to behave in relationships, how their woman should be, how their man should be, what they should and should not accept from their partner. I feel like they are actually, it's like the blind leading the blind. Okay, so all of these references about closed eyes. I don't get that your eyes are closed anymore. I feel like you are very clear on what is happening, or you will be. You're getting the clarity that you need. I feel like Spirit is no longer whispering at you. It's now screaming. It at some point will be screaming at you what has to be done. Okay, it inevitably has to be done. Does that mean that this is a lost cause for the remainder of this lifetime? Of course not. For some of you, it's not. This transition needs to happen. It's been very unhealthy up until now, and that is outdated. In the age of Aquarius, all things must come to light. All things must be of truth, right? Truth seekers are Aquarians. Feelings aside, what do the facts say? That's Aquarian energy. So this has to be uprooted. The both of you would be completely different people if this should ever come back together. But for now, there's a separation that has to happen. There's a separation for a majority of you that has already happened, right? But we have someone who's refusing to grow out of their way of thinking, okay? They're still viewing you as the young girl that they once met, the young man that they once met, the guy or the girl who you were 6 months ago, okay, a year ago, 7 months ago, however long it's been. They most certainly have not, it hasn't even crossed their mind that you would have already broken the cycle, that this time it's for real, right? This time the separation is final. Okay, there's a finality in reference to moving forward. There's a great shift coming about. I feel like this person is not panicking at this point, although the Lovers in the reverse suggest, like I said, a lot of the things that they have grown to love, a lot of the ways about themselves that they have grown to love, a lot of the things that have come to them easily are drying up. The well is drying up. They are losing things that they love. They don't quite know that they lost you yet because of the repetitive cycles. Once they recognize the boundary is a cement wall and they crash into that bitch and break all of their teeth, that is when I feel the panic sets in. Yeah, it will be very sudden. I feel like this is going to make them feel very much so childlike. It is a threat to their comfortability. It's a threat to what they have known to be true, right? It's a threat to what they have known to be their state of comfort, what they have known to be a constant. So that is how they are describing you and this relationship. Even though they could have most certainly showed up treating it like shit, that's what they were taught. That doesn't make it okay. But with all of the blindfolds and the eyes closed, there is a great deal of confusion from your end as to why. So this would be answering your question. So let's hop over to the extended, okay? Let's see where this is going, guys. All right. I want to know what's really in their heart for you. What is their genuine intentions for coming back towards you? I want to know how they honestly think things will go for this connection. That'll also let us know if they're taking a different path, if they have changed, if this transition is complete, or if they're still on the same old bullshit. That will be very important for those of you who still see it, for this person especially. I want to know how they feel you have affected things. Okay, that perspective will let us know if there's any remorse, if there's any guilt, or I would say remorse, if they're sorry, right? If there's an apologetic energy towards what has gone down. Let's see what unhealed wounds they still have not tapped into. Okay, with the Star card here, unhealed wounds are the entire reason why things have gone down this way so far from both of you all's ends. It's a mirrored energy, the unhealed wounds of the past. Yeah. It needs to be an equally yoked situation in order for things to work, guys. Okay. There needs to be a learning of what the wound is, and then a healing from said wound. So I want to see what they may still have to heal from, just so you can know what you're getting yourself into. Okay, let's see what they intend to do to finally make things right. Okay, what does that entail? Is it a healthy way? Is it a healthy manner? What changes are they making? What changes have they already made? And what changes are they willing to make moving forward? Again, we'll look at their purest intentions, like I said, to make sure there's no ulterior motives. And then we'll look at their next steps and when they're going to take those next steps, so you can be fully informed and prepared. I also want to tap in to see what karma they still are set to face. The Wheel of Fortune is karmic. Let's see what what those details are, the karma that may be resting on their doorstep with all of the challenges that they have been facing. What does that actually look like? just in case you find yourself anywhere near them, okay? I also want to know, what do you get out of this? Investing in this long term, is it worth it? Is this worth your time? Is this worth your energy? Is this worth looking at again? Or shall we be moving forward? We'll look at the potential outcome, the best possible outcome of this. We will look at it. Okay, and you will see what will happen, and that will let you make the most informed decision. I will look into seeing what happens if you invest in this. How does it affect you on all levels, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically? And then we will look to see what's in your next cycle. All right, whether you're with this person or not, I want to know what you have to look forward to in your next cycle. With the Three of Wands, it looks like you are waiting for your ships to come in, especially upon healing from this. It's now so much space. You have room to fill up the beauty, right, for your ashes sort of thing. So let's see what's new coming in, both in love, money, opportunities, etc., etc. And then we'll get some advice, okay, from your spirit guides to let you know what moves you need to be making, how you need to be setting shit up to be sure that you are successful in all cycles that there follow after this one. So without further ado, click the like button as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell. I'm going to put the link for the extended reading down below in the description box. See y'all over there. Let's go.